Speaker, and what a pleasure it is to see you in the Speaker's chair this afternoon, and congratulations on an additional role. I know you already work very, very hard in your electorate and your role in this place, so thank you. It is with pleasure I get up to contribute to the Aboriginal Land Legislation Amendment Bill 2024 and to refute some of the things that have been mentioned in the chamber recently about this side's disregard for self-determination of our First Nations people, which is completely untrue. I am in my location in the northwest of the state, around Mildura, with the highest population of First Nations people. I spend a lot of time within that community. They're my friends, my teachers, the Murray Valley Aboriginal Co-Operative, in fact, have been one of the reasons I've been able to be a working mother, quite frankly, and having that organisation and those like them, the first people of the Mallee as well, but an organisation like Murray Valley Aboriginal Co-op, which are doing an enormous amount of work in the space of self-determination, which is place-based and community-led, like all solutions should be, is highly important. And bills like this, which do update management and ownership structures for Indigenous community funds, are obviously very important. But like I mentioned, and it is important, I think, that I acknowledge, and I've done it several times in this House, acknowledge corporations like, or co-ops, like Murray Valley Aboriginal Co-Operative, who do deliver all sorts of programs and services. Early childhood learning is one of them, with long daycare. In fact, they're the only early learning centre in Robinvale, which is a town of 8,000 people. And the work that they do there in the early childhood space, not only with regard to vulnerable children in the community, but also, like I said, they're the only daycare centre in Robinvale, and they took care and educated my children from birth, pretty much, until I could get them in, because as you can imagine, being one centre in a very small, in a large town, is difficult to get places, but they do an incredible amount of work. And it's a pleasure to work with them in that capacity and in other capacities to talk about what is actually really important to self-determination locally and what it means for those communities. And when we talk about the removal of restrictions on use and transfers of mission cemeteries, etc., this has been one thing that's come up, and this is what happens when you build real relationships with our communities, not just with our First Nations people, but all communities, is that you are privileged enough to have some very honest conversations. Sometimes they're hard conversations about what's required, and the cemetery issue and sorry business has been one that has come up a few times locally, and something that needs a little bit more work in our landscape with our local cemetery trust. And I do think there is a lot of work there that could still be done with regard to the local cemetery trust being culturally sensitive, appropriate, when it does come to sorry business. So there is still work to be done. There's a lot of work still to be done. But again, there are some great people doing great work. There are great programs being offered. Clontarf Foundation, I push their barrow often. They all work in small towns. They all work together, and the results we see are astounding. And I think I've mentioned before, because of the work that Murray Valley Aboriginal Co-Operative do in the housing space, in the counselling space, the men's program, but put that together with the Clontarf Foundation, who are a mentorship program for boys. the data doesn't lie. The data is there, and with a 0% youth offending rate in Robin Vale, that's astounding. And then put that together with the Koori Stars Academy and the Koori Girls Academy on a wider scale in our region. I mean, these programs speak for themselves. So when we talk about self-determination, closing the gap, there are people doing the work, and that's where we need to focus and talk on a very grassroots level and a very community-based, specifically community-based, because the needs in every community are different. In every family, they'll be different. So this is something that is really important in my electorate, not only in my town, but the wider region as well. So I will keep this short, Acting Speaker, because I just wanted to contribute to acknowledge the work that is being done in the self-determination space in our region through corporations and co-ops like Murray Valley Aboriginal Co-Operative, like First People of the Millawa Mallee, and like the Clontarf Academy, that have several locations throughout the region, Koori Stars Foundation as well, which get as yet no government funding. But again, that's a program that's been set up there and is already having results. So, Acting Speaker, I wish you well in the remainder of your time in the chair today.